There's my thoughts coming into this session. What we're actually going to do today, we're going to look at 3 scenarios together. Now, I was going to make you all be kids. I don't know if I'll do that anymore, but I was going to make you all be kids, not act like kids, but you know, you were all going to be the kids and someone was going to be the adult. We might still do that. I've got a generic teacher script, and then I thought I would play the act of different teachers I've experienced in my life as a student. Maybe we could pick those apart and maybe discuss those, and maybe discuss the varying scenarios and hopefully get to a point where, okay, how do we deal with it in all our different contexts in the room? And I might just ask you, fire a question at you, how would you deal with it? So let's look at scenario 1. The straw of doom. I'm just going to pass the straw of doom to you 2 gents. You're going to be our talkers. You're going to be having a quiet conversation while I'm trying to explain this lesson. Yeah, I'm sure you'll be good at that. This is a quiet, continuous chat. So I'm going to start explaining it, guys, and then as soon as you're ready, you can just start having a chat. So thanks for coming in, Year 12. Really appreciate it. You're all obviously seated. I can hear them. I can hear them now. You're all obviously seated, and what we're going to be doing today is looking at Hitler's rise to power. So we're looking at 1933 onwards and how Hitler came to power in Nazi Germany and how he did that. I freeze there. Now at some point you can either, well, there's a number of options here, isn't there? What would you do in this? Would you challenge that, or would you let that one go as tactical ignoring?
Challenge.
Yeah. What? Not. I mean, is that everyone? Is that unanimous? Yeah. Everyone would challenge that. Yeah. I'd agree with that. I think you'd have to challenge it. At what point does it become a tactical ignore? So, for me, if someone's just, if you like, fidgeting, yeah, it's not. What I don't want to do is create a confrontation situation unless I absolutely have to. So if I can tactically ignore something and I'm over here and I'm recognising that, you know what, that's annoying, but I'm not going to look at it, but actually it'll probably stop in a minute, and I'll tactically ignore for as long as I can in that context. Problem is now, we're going to move to 10. So, guys, if you want to carry on with your wonderful little conversation there about X-Men or whatever it was, 2, 4, 6, 8, good talkers, and then we'll go, yeah, that'll do. We'll do 8. We'll do 8. Everyone else can be silent, and then we'll do 8. So I'm going to start the same explanation again. We're going to go into it. We'll pause it. Now, what I thought I'd do this time is show you kind of how I've seen teachers, and it's easy to do this. It is really easy to do this. When I was teaching in Knowsley, I could have woken up and done it every single day if I'd wanted to. So let's have a go at it. 3, 2, 1. Hi, Year 12. Thanks for coming in today. Right, can everyone be quiet, please? Can everyone be quiet, please? Can everyone just be quiet, please? Right, can you just be quiet? And then it goes. Right, you're all staying back. You two, I'm done with you. You're not even I'm done with you. Not the pointing, but you're gonna get. I've seen it. Not the pointing, but I've seen it going da 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 da. Because the frustration, and when you're in that moment, I don't blame the teacher. Because when you're in that moment, it's horrible. It's the worst thing because you're going, am I crap at my job? And actually, no. It's just what they might all just be having one of them days, and you happen to. But as a teacher, you're going, I've got to manage this. So what do we do? I'm asking you first. What do we?
Stand. You just stand silent. That's what. Silent.
You're going for the silent treatment. Anyone any different to the what if you do the silent treatment, but the time's ticking away and there's still 6, 7, 8 of them still doing it? Do you carry on?
Yeah. And put it at the end.
How long have you done it for? What's the world record?
I don't know. I've never timed myself really, but usually.
You should be timing those silences. Performance management.
Yeah. But yeah, I would just wait.
Yeah, just wait. Anyone any different? I mean, has anyone got the guts to just wait? Go on.
We go for walks.
What do you mean?
Like just we
quite lucky. Our campus is in the middle of nowhere, so
Yeah.
I'm 16 to 18 my groups, and sometimes if I know they're having a bit of a day, we just leave and we're out and we go for a walk. 10 minutes later, they're back and they know what they're doing.
So they go for a walk, or they go for a walk.
We go with them.
Oh, okay.
If it's first thing in the morning, especially.
I bloody love that. You know, I wish I could have done that with my year nines. Hey, lads, we're going out. But does it work? Do they come back and...
Oh yeah, very
Yeah.
often.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll hold my lanyard against me and creep up on them. Just be like, what are you talking about?
Any others? Any other things that we do? Yeah.
Sometimes like if someone asks a direct question,
Yeah.
just because it kind of draws the attention, everyone kind of wants them to not know what the answer is,
Yeah.
and then it kind of draws that silence in a bit of an embarrassment thing.
Yeah.
Not that I'm nasty or anything. Just like the attention's drawn back, and then by the time it's finished, they've all forgot about what they were talking about, and then when you start talking again, you get a bit more attention than you were originally.
At what point do you go for a sanction or a if you carry? I mean, at what point do you kind of draw the line? If none of this is working, what do we do then?
I think after you've tried something like that, then it needs to be a bit of a need to follow that.
I'm interested. We've got the guys from an AP. Is anyone else working in AP? Guys in the AP. What do you? I'm because I've also respect, by the way, for that. But how do you go about that?
So distractions, refocus on something else. Maybe it's just right, guys. Being honest, like your first point. This isn't working at the minute. Do you want to have a go at something else, and then we'll come back to this? I guess we're lucky enough to be able to do that. We haven't got as much scrutiny on the making sure that the sequencing's there every lesson.
No, but I like that. It's like a reset, isn't it? It's like, yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. I mean, I've put some ideas on here. I mean, the first one, like, Bill Rogers is a legend. I mean, this is just going to apply to like any, and I love what he said. He's like, don't question why you're still talking. Why are you all still talking? But actually go into like directional language, like, settle down, please, hands down, please. It's kind of, I mean, what I would do is I'd be kind of like, not necessarily clicking, but just talking, but just tapping like this and walking around like that and just tapping while I'm doing the explanation, or even just standing next to the people who are talking, like right next to them, so they know you're in the proximity. And things like directional of just thank you, and obviously the big one is thanking the people who are compliant. So like, thanks John, thanks Jill for listening to me, thanks Carly for doing what I'm asking you to do, and eventually people clock on. I quite like this one from someone who said, I'm still waiting for 2, 4 or 6 people. I asked on social media last night, and some of these are mine, but some of them are things people said. And one guy said, I'm still waiting for 2 people, 4 people, 6 people. I think that does have power, because it can get a bit like, oh, actually, I don't want to be one of those people. But that's what they said, and that seemed to be a popular comment. But for me, one of the things I used was staring at a fixed point. I know it sounds ridiculous. I read it in some like dodgy 1980s behaviour manual that my dad gave me when I started teaching, and it said in it, stand and then just fix on a point like that, and don't say anything and just fix on the point. And so it's basically like what you were saying, but fixing on a point about 3 meters above people's heads. For some reason, that works even better than kind of that. Don't ask me why, it's just my experience, but fixing on a fixed point up there somewhere. Maybe they think something's up there, or I don't know. The countdowns, I mean, that's just common sense. We all know that one. I mentioned the thank yous. I mentioned the wander in the room. Yeah, I used to write £1 on the board. What's that? It's how much I've earned for doing nothing while you talk. By the time I've got to £3, they were getting really annoyed and shushing each other. And I said that's like one of them annoying teachers when I was at school who say, I've already done my qualification, so I don't need to do this, but you do. I used to despise. I still remember it and I hated it. I mean, seating plan, like, you tell me, but there is no problem with a teacher at Key Stage 5 going, I want you to move from there to there. I've got a seating plan. What? We're 18. I don't care. I'm the teacher. I can do what I want. I want you to move from there to there. Obviously, you want to keep the relationships going, and you'd have to build some kind of relationship with them to have that conversation first. But there's nothing wrong with being the teacher and the person, the lead in that environment, and saying, you can move. Now I think there's that tendency of like, okay, I must treat them like adults. Yeah, I get that, but it's also about, you know, like, I'm the teacher still, and I need you to go from there to there, and I'm going to direct you to do that in any way that you think you need to do. Using the sanction system if you need to, we'll all have it. There's nothing wrong with using the sanction system. It's there to be used. These are all my opinions, by the way. Some people say we don't need to use sanction. If you don't need to use it, don't use it. But I think it's good to know it's there. And I think it's good to recognise that it's no reflection on any professional who uses a sanctions or behaviour system or policy in an environment to get the best out of the students. And asking for help if you need it. I mean, I've asked my first head of departments, I used to ask him for help a lot. I used to observe him all the time. I was lucky to teach next door to him. Gavin, his name was, he was amazing. But he said to me, I remember him saying, my first lesson, I was stood behind the desk and I couldn't move for the whole lesson. So I was like that. And the kids were like, why aren't you moving? And he couldn't move in his first. And then he became an expert behaviour practitioner. I mean, he was one of the best in that school. It was a huge school, really tough school as well. And he was spot on. And I think that's the message for like trainees, isn't it? Like, no one's it takes years to become good at this, is what I think. It took me years. And also, you've got to establish yourself in a school, like, or a college, or wherever you're teaching. You can't expect someone to come in and be like, right, here's all the techniques. You've got to be, regardless of all the techniques you've got, you can be the best practitioner in the world. I was on a supply contract in Liverpool. You know, they looked at me in a different way than they looked at the permanent members of staff. So there can be contextual things there that we need to keep in mind with anyone when we're mentoring them, when we're having discussions with them, and you know, the expectations we have on them. I put this one in here only because I did an interview with Catherine Burbelsing on Monday, and she was like, she loves a good shout. And I asked her, I said, about the shouting, and she said, there's nothing wrong with going, how dare you? And then going, and thank you very much for coming to my lesson. It's like, you know, she was talking about like the voice variations, and I got that. I said to her, it's like theatrics a bit, isn't it? And she said, yeah. And I get that, because there's a difference between shouting and raising your voice. You can, like, I'm raising my voice now. I'm not shouting, I'm fully in control, but I'm raising my voice a little bit. I've got a loud voice anyway. But there's nothing wrong with using your voice as a behaviour management technique. I know there was an article in TES last week saying we banned shouting in our school, right? Okay, I get that. And everyone's going to have a different way of going about it. I totally get that. And I'm not saying shout. I think shout's the wrong word. To raise your voice or not to raise your voice. In my opinion, there's nothing wrong with using your voice, the voice intonation. And of course, the best behaviour leaders I've seen have been 5 foot tall people who've stood in the middle of the room like this and gone, right, everyone. Yeah. And I've walked in and I'm going, what the bloody hell's this, a library? I'm going, why can't I? And you know, it's like, hello, sir. It's like really friendly, hello, sir. And then it's kind of back to the students like, yes, and as we were saying, and the kids, oh. And I'm not saying like we should be scared, but there's different ways to use your body language, and even where you stand in the room is important. Like, centre of the room is quite like, I'm in control of this space. I'm going to walk forward. I'm not going to go back. I'm going to walk forward, showing like that control of the space as well.